Hello and welcome to This Is My Architecture. I'm joined today by Adrian from Airtasker. Welcome, Adrian.
Pleasure to be here.
So what does Airtasker do?
Airtasker is a trusted marketplace that connects people who are looking to outsource their tasks with people who are looking to make money in a flexible way.
Fantastic. Now that indicates scale, it indicates complexity, but you've created a friend called Carl here.
Yeah, so we've got this.
What does Carl do?
Got this little guy called Carl. So Carl is an artificial intelligence platform, and we built him to categorize all our tasks, right? Because the thing in tech companies is that they're really boring to run, right? All we do is you sit there at a computer screen all day, right, doing really mundane tasks. So we're building our own AI platforms to come and take over all those mundane tasks so that we can put a little bit more time into building a really good marketplace.
Fantastic. Now you've got a bit of a flow of things here. Talk us through it.
Right, so Carl sits here on some EC2 instances, right? And these things are absolutely fantastic. We've got some really clever caching going on here, right? So that we're able to classify a blob of text, so a task, in about 30 milliseconds, right? So this is real time, yeah? So as users are in there typing their tasks into Airtasker, Carl is sitting there classifying it with each keystroke, feeding that back to the users and making sure that we're positioning this task really well so that high quality workers pick it up.
So it's a genuine real-time experience.
Yep.
So how are you training Carl? How does Carl know what to do?
So Carl's pulling in huge amounts of data from absolutely all over the place, right? So our primary place we're pulling in data from is Redshift. Yep. So Redshift is our high performance database, which is pulling in data from our actual production database. And this stops Carl from thrashing it and bringing it down because we're pulling in millions of tasks.
So this guy's kind of transactional, this guy's more analytical.
Absolutely, yeah. So pulling in all this kind of stuff. We're also pulling in data from Wikipedia. So Carl sits there and he reads every single article on Wikipedia. And he does this to try and learn everything that we talk about and get a really broad-based knowledge so that when you're typing in a task, right, to Airtasker, it knows that a BMW is a car, or if you're looking for someone to look after your pet iguana, that it knows that that's a pet, that's an animal.
So Carl's perspective of the world is highly shaped by the contents of Wikipedia.
Yeah, so Wikipedia is really broad. There's like 14 million articles on there, so it's got a really broad...
So it's crawling all the time.
Really broad sense of knowledge. The other place we pull in data from actually is one of Amazon services. So if you think about machine learning services, they're actually really rubbish, right? You pump in your own data, they train a generic model and pump out a response. And I bet you, no matter what situation you're in, you're going to be able to do a better job. But there is one exception, and that's with machine learning services that focus on feature extraction, right? So in Amazon, you've got this service called Recognition, and you give Recognition a photo, and it gives you back a feature vector describing everything that's in that photo, right? So let's say you take a photo of your backyard, give it to Recognition, and Recognition's going to say, oh, this is a yard, there's grass in it, a shed, a lawnmower, children playing, all that kind of thing. That's a really powerful way to turn a photo into something that Carl can understand. So in Airtasker, when someone takes a photo and uploads that gets sent to this little S3 bucket, and that triggers a little Lambda task.
So there's an event triggering the Lambda task?
And Lambda pushes that to Recognition, which of course pushes that all the way back to Lambda, and this little guy pushes it into writes into our main production database, which then gets picked up by Carl and mashes everything together.
And so Recognition is doing that heavy lifting of what's in the picture, but you don't have to train it, it's doing it itself.
Yep. It's absolutely brilliant.
And then you've got this fancy little dashboard up the top here. Is that just monitoring what Carl's doing? Like how much does he process?
This dashboard is actually something really special. This is the first thing that we built with Carl. We built Carl with a GraphQL API, which is absolutely amazing for keeping everything decoupled. Yeah. And we built this dashboard because at the end of the day, machine learning is actually really scary, right? The idea that you hand over your critical decisions to a machine is terrifying. Okay, so within Airtasker, we need to build up that trust so that we start handing over our processes to Carl. So we built this dashboard, and people can go in and actually play with Carl. They can see how the algorithms are working and get a really good intuitive sense for how they work. So that's what this little guy is, and we can go in there and see all this kind of stuff.
So that means Carl's not a black box.
That's right. We can go in there, you can actually talk to Carl. So you can type in, I need someone to do da-da-da-da, and it classifies it right there on the spot, and you can see how all the data is moving through it.
Fantastic. And how many transactions is Carl processing? Like, give us a feel of scale.
So Airtasker, we've got millions of tasks in our database. We've got, I think from my memory, maybe 14 million articles on Wikipedia. Don't hold me to that. I think it's on that scale. Yeah. And I don't remember the count of the number of tasks with photos, but there's a decent proportion.
So he's doing a lot of work all the time.
That's it.
In 30 milliseconds.
Done. Yeah.
Love it. Adrian, thanks so much for sharing your information today.
Been a pleasure. Thank you.
And thanks so much for watching. This is My Architecture.